Hello and welcome to Whisky.com, where fine spirits meet. Today we have another two Islay blended malts on the cask. And I really do love the Islay whiskies. Because Islay whiskies are always special because they have this incredible flavor that's just associated with the Isle of Islay. I just love this smokiness, this sea flavor, and I hope this will be in this Big Peat whiskey as well, because it's called Big Peat and it does have a lot of Islay malts in it, and it's around 40 ppm, which is pretty much the standard definition of a heavily peated malt. So let's go a bit onto technicalities here. It's what do they actually say on the bottle? Islay blended malt Scotch whiskey. So that's a lot of terms that are actually highly regulated. Islay, so it has to be an Islay whiskey. I'm not sure if there's actually a law for that, but then you have blended malt, and that means blended means you have to have different distillates from different distilleries. Usually, if you have a blended whiskey, you have to have a certain amount of grain whiskey in it. But because this is a blended malt, this means there is only malt whiskey in it. So we have a different mixture of different different malts from Islay distilleries, and they actually say on that bottle which distilleries they got the casks from, and they say they have them from Ardbeg, Islay, Bowmore and Port Ellen. Yeah, the thing is, Port Ellen was closed many years ago, and their stuff is really rare. So my estimate is they only have a few drops of Port Ellen in there. Blended also means that they are not allowed to tell you how old the oldest one is and how much they get from different distilleries, I think. Because if you'd say there is malt with 60 years in it from Port Ellen, that would open up a lot of fraud, because you could just put in a drop of 60-year-old whiskey and market it as a 60-year-old whiskey. So they have the same regulation as the single malt. They are only allowed to write the age of the youngest malt in there on it. But they don't do that. It's a non-age statement, but not chill filtered and not colored. So we do know Port Ellen whiskey, short supply, will not have that many or that much in there. Then we go on to Ardbeg. Ardbeg doesn't sell many casks. They stopped selling the casks. The Louis Vuitton Moët Hennessy, a company that owns Ardbeg, really wants to push their own brand, and they don't want to sell many casks to independent bottlers, and definitely not to blended malt. Kalila used to have a more restricted selling policy, but now they work together with blending and independent bottlers together very well since I was there, and they said, yeah, we do work together with them. So Kalila, as they have a production capacity of 5 million liters a year, they will probably supply, I would say, the majority of whiskey in the Big Peat. Bowmore, they are so. I think they sell every now and then, but they're not that much of a seller as Kalila, so there will be a good amount of Bowmore in these bottles, but probably not the majority. Can I really vouch for that? Nope, I can't, because it's a secret. Nobody knows. Maybe this is 90% Port Ellen, but highly unlikely. Yeah. So the Big Peat is associated with this bearded, rough fella, and probably most of the people who love the Islay malt look like this. Yeah, it's I would say a rough man's drum. Although I have seen many, I would say women, thin women, small women, and women you would think, oh, she would probably into these sweet liqueur stuffs. They do like that stuff as well. strange, but there are many women who like the Islay as well. Probably more than the normal Scotch whiskey. It's a nice taste and smell that you get from these Islay malts. And I personally do like the Islay malts that mix their rough, peaty, smoky, sea-flavored phenolic whiskey with a bit of a sweetness from sherry barrels or sherry casks. So that's what I really love about an Islay whiskey. Oh, that's typical. That's a chimney on Islay. It's a bit of a smoky, peaty that goes into the direction of a bit of an ash note, a bit more of a dry, cold smoke note, combined with a sweetness. It's really lovely. And the thing with Big Peat is, it's one of these bit more price-sensitive Islay whiskies. Because the Islay whiskies are in so high demand, and the Isle of Islay is really, really small, that the supply is a bit short. So the prices for Islay whiskey rose quite a lot. And you can't really distinguish one of the major Islay brands. But they're not coloring, and yeah, it's a bit pale. So it's not a very mature one. So you do get the full flavor of peat smoke. Because if you have an older whiskey, the 1974 Ardbeg or the 40-year-old Bowmore, or even the 27-year-old Bowmores, they really reduce in peat. If you have the younger Islay malts, they really have the fresh, strong peat in there. And this is one of the typical strong flavored peaty whiskies. Dominating smoke. Oh, it's just dominating. Now when you swallow it, you have that warm, nice, subtle sweetness behind that big wall of smoke. But you realize it's not well-rounded. It's an edgy one. It's an edgy one with a lot of smoke, intensity. You realize it does have 46% ABV. That's 92 proof. So it's quite a strong one, an edgy one, and quite of a rough one with a subtle sweetness to it. Not much other stuff going on. There's just this rough smokiness combined with a little bit of sweetness, and it's quite dry and an ashy type of smoke. You'd kind of associate it when you go out camping, and yesterday you had a big campfire, and you come out in the morning and you smell, the campfire has burned out, but there's still that smoky smell and a lot of smell of ash in the air. That would probably be the best association for this type of whiskey. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, then please give me a thumbs up, and see you next time.